Hi, my name is Brooke Gordon, and today I'm going to be talking about why I believe that high school sports should be able to be played right now. High school students in Michigan are currently denied the option to play organized sports. As mental health and hopes are decreasing, it leaves government officials wondering, should we allow these kids the option to continue playing their sport? Things like sports are more than just a silly game. They are outlets for kids. For some, it's their drive, and for many, their way of life. In my speech today, I'm going to be talking about why I believe that organized sports should still be played in high school right now. By listening to my speech, you will be able to hear from a current high school student athlete rather than the media. First, I will discuss why sports are so important to kids. Second, I will discuss why kids should be allowed the option to play. Finally, I will discuss the negative effects cancellations and postponements have on student athletes' mental health. To kids and teens, sports are more than just a game. It's their life and their livelihood. Coming from an especially small town, sports are all we have. My graduating class consists of 25 students, 19 of those 25 students being current student athletes. The same ratio is about true for the rest of my small school's grades. I can very confidently say that my school is fueled by sports. In a town where your teachers are your coaches, and your parents and grandparents fill the stands, you can imagine how devastating the cancellations have been to our community. As I drive by my lonesome school every day, I can't help but feel an emptiness in my heart. Sports are way more to kids and communities than can be put into words. High school athletes are allowed 4 years of high school sports, 4 seasons, 4 chances to fulfill all the memories and successes that fuel many adults through their whole lifetime. A loss of just one of the seasons can be very hard to cope with as a young person. Now that we understand the mindset of struggling high school athletes, we can now talk about the reasons we should be playing right now. One of the biggest arguments against the Let the Kids Play movement is that it's not safe to play, that it's selfish to play. Currently, since March 12, 2020, there has been 482,815 cases of coronavirus reported. From those 482,815 cases, 11,588 have died. That means with that death rate in Michigan from the coronavirus is only 0.024%, with very little amounts of those deaths being in young adults under 18 with no medical conditions. To be approved to play a sport in Michigan, you must receive a physical every year, which helps identify underlying medical conditions. I found this information at www.michigansportsnetwork.com/thehugeshow. Some people may argue that even if the kids aren't directly affected by it, they still can carry the coronavirus and pass it on to other people. This is completely true and is a proven fact, but if taken the right precautions, there can be little to no spread of the virus. Kids can continue to wear masks during their sport. They can also decrease the amount of fans in the stands, or even not allow fans in at all. Student athletes are willing to distance themselves from the general public, and some are willing to distance themselves from the older generation, who can't fight off COVID-19 as easily. These kids are desperate for any hope, anything to allow them to continue playing the sport they love. It is important to also remember that playing a sport is not mandatory. If you or a loved one are not able to fight off the coronavirus, you are able to shy away from being a participant, and you are also allowed to stay away from participants. Now, let's get into my final topic, how the cancellations and postponements are affecting high school athletes' mental health. For many student athletes, sports are not just a game. It's the securement of an education. Athletes are fighting for an athletic scholarship that determines whether they go to college or not. This is determining the rest of their lives. When talking about mental health of high school student athletes, I decided to do my own research. I asked 70 Michigan high school student athletes, sports ranging from basketball, football, softball, baseball, track, golf, volleyball, and cheer, whether their mental health was negatively affected by the cancellation and/or postponement of their sport. An overwhelming 96% answered yes, their mental health was negatively affected. Today, I first discussed why sports are so important to student athletes. Second, I discussed why kids should be allowed to participate in their sports right now. Finally, I discussed the negative effect on high school athletes' mental health. In conclusion, we should take our high school students' athletes' mental health into considerations before making rash decisions that will forever leave an empty place in our students' hearts. Hashtag let the kids play.